And so, welcome everyone. Namaste, everyone. Welcome to your adaptive chair yoga practice. And so, I'd like to begin the yoga practice today by inviting you to maybe bring your hands together at your heart center. And so, if you like, maybe imagining a flame in front of your heart. And then lifting your heart to your hands, bow your head to your heart. And an invitation to take a nice inhale. And then to set an intention to consciously enter into the present. And then when you're ready, on an exhale, turn your head looking over your left shoulder. Exhaling, making a ha sound. As a symbol of leaving the past behind. Inhale, bring your head back through center. And turning your head looking over your left shoulder. This time on exhale, blowing through pursed lips. As a symbol of placing future beyond grasp. Bring your head gently back center, take a few breaths. And then when you're ready, bow your head to your heart center. Gradually blink your eyes open. Release your arms down by your sides, spiral your palms open, and wiggly fidget. So shake your hands vigorously. And so the goal of the yoga practice is to relax and to energize. And so my humble opinion, the new advanced yoga is a gentle yoga practice. So yoga is not an extreme sport. And so with that in mind, if anything I share with you today feels uncomfortable, if it hurts, skip it. Come back to your breath. And so if we're focused on our breath, we are practicing yoga. And so as you're ready, ground through your feet. Center and ground through the soles of your feet. We want to keep our connection with Mother Nature. We tend to start losing that. Root down through your sits bones. So maybe noticing where your bottom and your thighs are in contact with your seat. Energy moving in two directions. Lengthen from the tip of your tailbone all the way up through the crown of your head. So you might imagine that you have a thread on top of your head and it's pulling you way up to the sky. Roll your shoulders back and down just a few times. Tuck your chin in slightly to release the back of your neck. And from here, we'll transition into mindful movement. So reach your arm way up to the sky. And then slowly float your arm down. So gentle movement, reaching way up to the sky. And then slowly float your arm down. So let's explore adding a gentle breath to the movement on inhale. Reaching up full length of your inhale. On exhale, float your arm down the full length of your exhale. It's as if on your inhale, there's a beginning, a middle, and an end point. On exhale, a beginning, a middle, and an end. Release both arms down by your side and rest your hands on your thighs. Take a moment and we'll begin the practice on the other side. And so as you're ready, reach your arm way up to the sky. And slowly float your arm down. So gentle movement, reaching up. And on exhale, float your arm down. So linking our breath with our movements this time. On inhale, reaching up full length of your inhale. On exhale, float your arm down the full length of your exhale. It's as if on your inhale, there's a beginning, a middle, and an end point. On exhale, a beginning, a middle, and an end. Release both arms down by your side or wherever feels comfortable for you. And this time we'll reach both arms up to the sky. Place your hands on the back of your head if that's available to you and you would like. Or it might feel more comfortable to bend your elbows, press into the palms of your hands. There's what's called the marma point in the palms of our hands, a sensitive point. So I'm going to place my hands on the back of my head today. And together we can do what's called a mantra. So shouting out together, I am, I can, and I will. And with a sigh of relief, float your arms down by your side. Roll your shoulders back and down just a few times. Rest your hands on your thighs, palm up or down as desired. Maybe even taking a moment to notice which feels better for you today. Resting your palms face up, or does it feel better to rest your palms face down? So if you're tired, I'd like to invite you to explore resting your palms face up, open to receive. If you are feeling restless, scattered, palms face down can help ground us. And then when you're ready, an invitation to maybe begin to move your gaze downward. So moving away from the busyness in our brains and more towards our heart. Allowing your facial muscles to soften and release. Our jaws relaxed, breath is calm. And so I think before we move on to breath awareness practice and simple breathing exercises, I'd like to share a poem with you called The Journey by Mary Oliver. And so here it goes. One day you finally knew what you had to do and began. Though the voices around you kept shouting their bad advice, through the whole house began to tremble and you felt the old tug at your ankles. Mend my life, each voice cried, but you didn't stop. You knew what you had to do, though the wind pried with its stiff fingers at the very foundations, though their melancholy was terrible. It was already late enough in a wild night, and the road full of fallen branches and stones. But little by little, as you left their voices behind, the stars began to burn through the sheets of clouds, and there was a new voice which you slowly recognized as your own. They kept you company as you strode deeper and deeper into the world, determined to do the only thing you could do, determined to save the only life you could save. And so with eyes closed softly, focused inward or soften your gaze, bring a gentle awareness to your breath. Without changing anything, maybe noticing on our inhales that things expand. On exhale, things contract. Notice, is your breath long Is it smooth or is it jagged? And breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. Or maybe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Or if it feels better for you, breathing in and out through your mouth. If you are congested or have an obstruction, breathe in whatever way you can. And so an invitation to place your hands on your Buddha belly. And from here, I'll transition into a simple breathing exercise that research shows can help with pain management, pain care if you like, and anxiety. And so as you're ready, begin to deepen your inhale, lengthen your exhale. And so when we lengthen our exhale, it is calming for our nervous system. And then see if you can begin to smooth out your breath. And so that your inhales and your exhales are about the same duration and quality. At any point, if you notice your mind gets distracted and wants to wander off, know that that's okay. That's the nature of our mind. Simply bring your awareness back to your breath. And lastly, maybe see if you can add a quality of softness to your breath. So you might imagine that you just tasted something delicious. And bring that same softness to areas of your body that you feel are too tight or knotted. Our breath is long and smooth and soft as we breathe in and as we breathe out. So just for a few more breaths, or as long as it feels comfortable, I'd like to invite you to keep this simple breathing exercise flowing. At any point, if you notice that your mind gets distracted and wants to wander off, bring a gentle awareness to the sounds around you. So I can hear the sound of a vehicle whooshing by down this country road. I can hear the sound of neighbors working in their backyards. And then maybe noticing the gentle tone of my voice. And in a loving way, bring your awareness back to your breath. And wherever you are in your breath cycle, allow your breath to come back to its natural rhythm. And so your natural rhythm may be observing the rise and fall of your chest and your belly. And then gradually blink your eyes open. And so falling awake, not asleep. Falling awake, not asleep. And so notice if you felt a subtle shift in your energy. And so we've begun the process of tuning into our bodies and connecting with our breath. And so the bridge between our body and our mind, our breath. When you're ready, release your arms by your sides, spiral your palms open, open up your armpits and wiggly fidgets. So shake your hands vigorously, unless of course it hurts. So if it hurts, less is more. Maybe even visualizing the movement. So imagination is powerful. So at this time, I'd like to invite you to walk your hips forward in your chair, if that's available to you and you would like. If you need the back of the chair for support, honor that. So yoga meets us right where we are. And then when you're ready, let's repose. So make sure your feet are placed evenly on the floor, on your footrest. If you are seated in a wheelchair, that your chair is turned off. Brakes are on. And sitting up nice and tall, push down through one foot and then down through the other. So it might be an energetic pushing down. Roll your shoulders back and down just a few times. Tuck your chin in slightly to release the back of your neck. And then when you're ready, I'd like to invite you to bring your palms together at your heart center. Lift your elbows slightly. Maybe even taking a moment to notice how it feels to have your hands in this placement. So if this makes you lose your balance in any way, choose another placement for your hands. So it might be that you feel better with your hands on your Buddha belly. And so we'll transition to a practice called sun breath with a meditation on the heart. So on inhale, extend your arms up and away. So if it feels better, a little lower, adjusting, and then bringing your palms back together at your heart center, maybe on your Buddha belly. And so an invitation to keep this gentle movement flowing in your own time and rhythm. And if you'd like, imagine the sun at your heart center. On your inhales, as you extend your arms away from you, imagine the rays of the sun, the radiant sun radiating out all around you. And then gather that light and bring it back inside. It's a symbol of the light that's always inside us. Inhale. And if you'd like, exploring chanting Om with me or making a humming sound. So sound has a vibration. On exhale, Om. Inhale. Om. And this time, see if you can feel vibration in your body, in the space around you. Inhale. Place one hand on your yoga belly, the area between your navel and your pubic bone, your other on your heart center. And take a moment to maybe feel the rise and fall of your chest and your belly. Remembering your intention for your practice. And arms by your sides, spiral your palms open, open up your armpits, and again, wiggly fidget. So dance like a toddler. They don't care who's watching. Okay. And so let's transition to a lovely, gentle warm-up for our neck. and our shoulders, and we might even do some exercises, facial exercises, to release the tension in our face. I was quite surprised to find out that one of the most difficult places to release tension is in our face. And so let's begin by, of course, sitting up nice and comfortably, effortlessly upright, but still nice and tall. And then when you're ready, tuck your chin in slightly to release the back of your neck. If it's helpful, you might take 2 fingers, place them on your chin. And then from this place, let's begin simple neck rolls. So our Buddha belly is soft, breath is quiet. And other direction. So see if you can resist the temptation to go to your full range of motion. Move your head from side to side. And so when we link our breath with gentle movements, this is calming for our nervous system. Move your head up and down as if nodding yes. And so my wish for you is that you become your own yoga teacher and you develop a nice, safe home practice. Works for you. And then maybe tipping your head from side to side a few times. And then when you're ready, coming into shoulder circles. So soft, organic movements, nothing rigid. So one of the things that we want to feel in our yoga practice is a sense of rhythm. We all have our own sense of rhythm. And then other direction. And maybe alternating from side to side. And forward. Good. And when you're ready, stretch your arms in front of you. Bring your hands to your shoulders or wherever you can reach comfortably. And then stretch your palms. So feel the skin between your fingers. Take your hands to your shoulders and stretch your palms. And stretch. And now maybe exploring alternating from side to side. So it's not about forcing one limb to do what the other is doing. We just want them talking to each other. And when you're ready, release your arms by your sides, spiral your palms open. Take your hands to your shoulders. And then imagine you're drawing circles with your elbow points. On the wall in front of you or the screen. And see if you can create a little half smile, like a little Buddhist smile. And so when we smile, it releases endorphins, happy endorphins and saliva. And so we want a nice juicy mouth and juicy body. We all know what it's like to have a dry mouth. We've been to the dentist. And then other direction. Coming out of the movement anytime you'd like. Or on my cue. And slowly release your arms down by your side. And just let your arms hang out by your side. Relax by your side. And take a moment to notice How's your breath? Any subtle sensations? And so moving on, let's do some exercises for our hands. And so stretch your palms and maybe make soft fists. Stretch your palms, soft fists. And stretch, soft fists. Circle your wrists in one direction. Circle your wrists in the opposite direction. So noticing is one wrist tighter than the other. And so as human beings, we tend to be tighter on one side of our body than the other. And then imagine you're playing piano. So these movements, simple movements, are helping to get the synovial fluid flowing into all the little joints in our fingers. So synovial fluid, Mother Nature's WD-40. Bring your palms face up. If it's available to you and you would like, circle your thumbs in one direction. Circle in the opposite. And so it might be that you visualize the movement, so imagination is powerful. Focusing on what we can do. And interlace your fingers loosely, or bring your hands together, however you're able to comfortably. And we'll practice moving in the infinity symbol. Other direction, the more challenging. Release your hands, reach your arms up to the sky. So stretch into the stretch, get bigger in space. So we tend to shrink. And place your hands on the back of your head, or maybe bent elbows pressing into the palms of your hands. And together, I can't hear you. I know you're out there. And together, we can shout out, I am, I can, and I will. And with a sigh of relief, float your arms down. So together we can. And so take a moment, rest your hands on your thighs, notice how's your breath. So our old friend, our breath. Notice any subtle sensations. And so trust that the sensations are there. And so from here, let's transition into the movements of the spine. So you'll get a lot of focus on movements in the spine. Of course, we know our spines matter. And so again, making sure your feet are placed evenly on the floor, on your footrest. Sitting up nice and tall, roll your shoulders back and down just a few times. And then when you're ready, with your hands placed on your knees or your thighs, on inhale, draw your hands in towards your hip creases. So as you do, begin to turn your gaze out towards the ceiling. So it might be that your eyes meet where the ceiling meets the wall. So we want to be careful not to throw our head back. And so you'll know your head's back too far if it's difficult to swallow. And we'll stay in this gentle back bend just for a few breaths or as long as it feels comfortable. And when you're ready, return your gaze on the horizon, come back to a neutral spine. And take a moment, and then we'll come into a gentle warm-up for our upper back. So as you're ready, round your shoulders, so your upper back, draw your chin in towards your heart center, your chest if you'd like. And inhale, perch. Slide your shoulders away from your ears, gazing up. On exhale, round your upper back. As you round your upper back, draw your chin in towards your heart. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. And slowly come back to a neutral spine. And so from here, we'll come into a practice called cat and cow. So I'm going to turn my chair sideways because I think that'll give you a better visual of what our spines look like in this gentle movement, warm up for our spine. And so if you have the ability to bring your feet out a little wider than outer hip bone distance, go for it. And it's okay to have your toes turned out a little, but try to make sure that your knees are in line with your ankles, that you're not, these hips are rotating inwards. And then when you're ready, with your hands on your thighs or your knees, on inhale, arch your back. So our spine looks like a smile. And looking up softly. And then as you're ready, round your back. And as you round your back, you'll notice that your belly naturally contracts in towards your spine a little. So inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Drawing your belly in towards your spine. So in your own time and rhythm, I'd like to invite you to keep this gentle massage, if you will, for your back flowing. And so move in a way that feels natural for you. So natural that your movements and your breath become one. Slowly come back to a neutral spine. I'll turn my chair. Release your arms by your side, then rest your hands on your thighs and take a moment to notice how this feels. And so I was reminded this morning in my yoga studies the importance of recognizing that it's not about what we look like in our yoga practice. The diagnostic tool is, how do I feel? Okay. So from here, let's go into a practice to help find our balance. And so my favorite definition of balance is the equal distribution of presence throughout our entire body. Balance, the equal distribution of presence throughout our entire body. So one of the other sensations we want to experience in our yoga practice, in addition to rhythm, is balance. And so placing your hands wherever feels comfortable for you, sitting up nice and tall, hinging from the hips, rock forward. You're just coming forward a little. And then as you're ready, rocking back up. And so it might be that you're visualizing the movement. And so if you have osteoporosis, for sure, forward bends are contraindicated. I think it's okay to come forward, maybe just a little, not more than 20%. But trust your inner wisdom and what you, whatever healthcare professionals are working with you have suggested to you. And there's something about the rocking movement that our nervous system likes. So gentle movement, moving with our breath. And then come on back to a neutral spine. Release your arms by your side and take a moment to notice how this feels. Okay. And so I'd like to invite you to pull the buttock flesh away from your sits bones. And so sits bones strong on the chair. And then when you're ready, you'll come into a gentle side bend. So releasing your arms down by your side, extend beyond your wrist to your fingertips. And sometimes it can be interesting to close our eyes as we practice these movements. Come back to stillness, rest your hands on your thighs. Take a moment, notice how this feels. And then wherever you are in your breath cycle, take a nice deep inhale through your nose unless you're congested. And on your exhale, see if you can draw your sits bones towards each other. And release. And notice if you felt a subtle shift. So it might be so subtle that it's only apparent to you. So maybe a little lift in your chest. And from here, we'll continue. So let's bend our arms low in front of us, looking straight ahead. That can help focus our mind. Gently twist from side to side. Remember your little half smile, your little Buddha smile. So smile whether you're happy or not. If you'd like to challenge yourself a little more, you can bend your elbows, fingers reach to the sky, moving with your breath. Inhale to one side, exhale to the other. If you'd like to challenge yourself even more, you can bring your elbows in line with your shoulders, so gold pose. Now you imagine you have a walnut between your shoulders and you're trying to crack it. And then again, moving with your breath. Sometimes when we can hear our breath, it helps us to focus our mind. So exaggerating the breath if you like. Inhaling, exhaling through your nostrils. When you're ready, slowly come back to a neutral spine. Float your arms down. Whew. And take a rest. Okay, so let us come into a gentle warm-up for our hips and our lower back. And so I like to call this stirring the pot. And so if you can, toe heel out to the side a little bit to give a little more room for a yoga belly. And then as you're ready, on an inhale, circle forward. And on exhale, pressing back. So micro movements, visualizing the movements, focusing on what we can do. And then when you're ready, other direction. And as you begin to feel your hips and lower back soften and release, see if you can go a little deeper. So bringing your awareness to the space in front of you, the space beside you, above you, and especially bringing our awareness to the space behind us. And trust that you're being supported. And then slowly make your way back to a neutral spine. Toe heel back in. If you brought your feet a little wider, release your arms by your side and then take a moment to notice how's your breath. Any subtle sensations. Okay. So moving on, let's come into another version of the side bend. And so I am going to mirror you. And so an invitation to take hold of the left side of your chair, the underneath, or if you're in a manual chair, it might be that you take hold of your wheel. That works for you. And then release your right arm by your side. Spiral your palm open. And with a soft bend in your elbow, tipping to the side, take your hand up to your shoulder, or maybe if it feels comfortable for you, reach it way up and over. And then turn your gaze down towards the floor to release your neck and breathe into your lower back. Or pardon me, not your lower back, your rib cage. Can you imagine breathing in below your rib cage? And slowly come out of the pose on this side. Take a moment and we'll come into it on the other side. So taking hold of the underneath of the right side of your chair, your wheel maybe, or you might even, if you have a chair beside you, place your hand on the chair as long as it's stable. So we never forfeit balance to come into a pose or movement. And it's not one size fits all. And so when you're ready, spiral your left palm open, soft bend in your elbow, tipping to the side, take your hand to your shoulder, maybe reaching way up and over. Keep that right sit bone or left sit bone on the chair. And so can you feel that you're creating space in your side body? And slowly come out of the pose on this side. Release both arms down by your side, then rest your hands on your thighs, palm up or down as desired. Notice how's your breath, your old friend, your breath. Notice any subtle sensations. Moving on, we'll come into a seated twist. And so if it's available to you, toe heel out to the side a little more. Again, so creating a little more space for yoga belly or Buddha belly if you like. Place your right hand on the outside of your left knee or thigh. Left hand comes beside you on the chair or behind you. If you can reach there comfortably, or sometimes I've seen some folks, if they're seated in their manual wheelchair, they're able to hook their left arm over the handlebar. And so you'll notice we're already into our seated twist here. So if you'd like, we can explore going a little deeper. So an inhale, lengthen our spine. On exhale, going into the twist a little deeper. And our head turns last. Eyes are closed softly, focused inward, or soften your gaze. Unwind, we'll meet back at center. Take a moment before we come into the pose on the other side. So give yourself permission to move slowly between your poses and your movements. And then when you're ready, reach your left hand over to your right knee or thigh. Right hand comes beside you on the chair behind you. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, going into the twist a little deeper. And see if you can resist the temptation to turn your head to its full range of motion. Soft, yoga belly, quiet breath. And slowly unwind, come back to a neutral spine. And from here, we'll flow in and out of the twist. So inhale, you're reaching up and out, and exhale, twisting to the side. So if you'd like, in your own time and rhythm, keeping this gentle movement flowing. Just for a few more breaths, or as long as it feels comfortable. And making sure that you go into the twist on your exhale. And finish up the movement that you're on. Come on back to a neutral spine. Toe heel in so that your knees are about hip distance apart. And again, take a moment to notice how you feel. Okay, so in our practice today, we've done side bends, twists, forward bends, maybe imagine forward bends, back bend. And so particularly the side bends and the twists are pretty intense spinal movements, so we need to realign our spine. And we can do that with a gentle forward fold. And so again, a gentle reminder, if you have osteoporosis, forward folds are contraindicated. So it might be that your practice is that you're lengthening your spine and visualizing, coming forward a wee bit. And it might be so subtle that it's apparent to you. And so let's take hold of the underneath and the sides of our chair for stability, wherever you can reach comfortably. And hinging from the hips, come forward with a flat back. You're coming forward about 20%. Tuck your chin in slightly to release the back of your neck. And then breathe into your lower back. So if it's helpful, you can walk your feet forward a little bit. So forward folds are calming for our nervous system. If we come into them in a way that's appropriate for each of us. And come on out of the forward bend by pressing down through your inner heels. Maybe placing one hand on each near thigh, lift from your chest. Nice. I'm just going to check the time here quickly. 12:50. And so I'd like to share a practice with you called sun salutation. And so sun salutation is heating and energizing. And so we will come into this together. And so this is a modified version, seated. And so when you're ready, feet are placed evenly on the floor, on the earth, so not in the air, but on the ground. Sit bones are sharp on a chair, sitting up nice and tall. Maybe roll your shoulders back and down just a few times. And tucking your chin in slightly. And so let's begin with our palms together at our heart center. Lift your elbows slightly. Release your arms down by your sides. Spiral your palms open. With a soft bend in your elbows, reach your arms way up to the sky. So take a look between your palms. If it doesn't create tension in your neck, then return your gaze on the horizon. So mountain pose. And then maybe bring your palms together in prayer down through to the heart center. Release your arms by your sides, spiral your palms open, reaching up into mountain pose. So it might be that you feel better to have your elbows bent rather than arms up along your ears. So you choose, this is your yoga practice. Take a look between your palms, and return your gaze on the horizon, and then maybe bring your palms together at your heart center. Release your arms by your sides, spiral your palms open. Inhale, reaching up to the sky. Maybe our hands come together in prayer down through to the heart. On exhale, gently twist to the left. So I'm mirroring you. Inhale, meet back at center, gently twist to the right. Inhale, meet back at center. Release your arms by your sides, spiral your palms open, reach for the heavens. Maybe our hands come together in prayer down through to the heart. On exhale, as you're ready, hinging from the hips, come forward a little, maybe taking hold of the underneath of the sides of your chair for stability. Tuck your chin in slightly to release the back of your neck. And then as you're ready, placing one hand on each near thigh, cobra, lift the top of your sternum, gazing up slightly. Now when you're ready, round your back. As you round your back, draw your navel in towards your spine. Inhale, come on back to neutral spine. Place your hands on your heart center, palms together again. When you're ready, release your arms by your sides, spiral your palms open, flowing with your breath. Inhale, reach up into mountain. Palms come together in prayer down through to the heart. And this time, hug your left knee in towards your chest and belly. So it might be that you're visualizing a movement. Place your hands behind your thigh, and then hug your knee in towards your chest and belly. If it feels okay for you, you might even draw your chin towards your knee. Place your foot back down onto your footrest or on the floor. Hands come together at the heart center. Release your arms by your sides. Spiral your palms open, moving your breath. Bring your palms up, together, down through the heart. On exhale, hug your right knee in towards your chest and belly. Clasp your hands behind your thigh, knee to chest. Maybe drawing your chin towards your knee. And release, placing your foot back down onto the mat or the floor. Hands come together at the heart. Release your arms by your sides. Spiral your palms open. Reach up into mountain pose. Maybe our hands come together in prayer down through to the heart. And take a rest. So we'll come down off the mountain. And so come into a comfortable seat in preparation for a short guided meditation. And so meditation traditionally is practiced seated upright. And so if you happen to have a yoga mat and you're able to roll it up, that can feel really nice along the spine. It kind of helps with some of that contracting, collapsing that we do in our chest during our day. And I find that a nice blanket can feel really lovely, the weight of on our thighs. And so I'd like to share a practice with you called mudra. And so mudras are hand gestures that were created to help us focus our mind. And so some of the lovely tools of yoga, so the chanting can help lengthen our breath, which is calming for our nervous system. Mudras can help focus the mind, so enabling us to enter consciously into the present. And so this mudra is called diamond mudra, and it's when we rest our right hand in our left palm, thumbs connect. And I think I have it right. And so you might want to double check that, but I think I'll revisit today. I'll look at my mudra handbook. And so thumbs connect. And if this mudra works for you, lovely. If not, choose another one. And so one of the gifts from my yoga teacher, one of my yoga teachers in India, she suggested that if we wanted to, we didn't practice the mudras, to think of it as connecting with our higher self or our higher power. And draw your hands in towards your hip creases. Look down and into your heart, see what you can see. And then imagine that you're breathing into your heart. Breathing in, I know that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know that I'm breathing out. As my in-breath grows deep, my out-breath grows slow. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Dwelling in the present moment, I know this is a wonderful moment. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Dwelling in the present moment, I know this is a wonderful moment. Come into whatever position you'd like for your final relaxation. So serenity pose. And so if you have the ability to recline in your chair, go for it, making sure that your head and neck is supported. Make sure that you're warm enough. So get whatever you need to come into the pose comfortably. And so rest your hands, palms face up or down as desired. Roll your shoulders back and down just a few times. So not scrunching our shoulder blades together, but allowing our shoulders to melt, to soften away from our ears. Soft Buddha belly, the area between our navel and our pubic bone. And soft palms, quiet breath. Allow your breath to reflect the pose. So Serenity Pose is meant to be a deep, conscious relaxation. You're not meant to fall asleep in it. Close your eyes softly or soften your gaze. So closing your eyes about 3/4 of the way. Relax your jaw. Unclench your teeth. Let there be a little space between your teeth. Soften your lower jaw. And soften around your temples. And soften the area between your eyebrows. Wide forehead. Mentally, if you'd like, saying let on an inhale and go on an exhale. Inhale, let, exhale, go. It's challenging to quiet the mind. Sometimes placing our hands on our Buddha belly, bringing our awareness to our breath can help. Wherever you are in your breath cycle, let your breath, or pardon me, without changing anything, bring your awareness back to your breath. Thank your body again. Our bodies are the best home our mind will ever have. And now see if you can begin to deepen your inhale, lengthen your exhale. Wiggle your fingers and toes, hands and feet, waking up. Rub the tips of your fingers if you'd like, with your thumbs. And come on up seated comfortably to finish up your yoga practice. And so bring your hands to your heart center, lifting your heart to your hands, bowing your head to your heart. Take a moment to honor yourself for showing up for yoga practice today. Bring the intention you set at the beginning of the class back to mind, and then let it go. And so the teacher me honors and appreciates the teacher in each of you. Thank you to Taylor today for helping to facilitate the class, and ConnecTra, amazing organization, bringing these lovely online programs to so many people. And so the teacher me honors and appreciates the teacher in each of you. Thank you. And so I think I went over a couple minutes. I'm not sure. I'm
Few
happy
minutes,
to hang in for
but,
a few minutes. Yeah.
nothing too bad. I think it's at like an hour and 4, so you're good.
Oh, good.
All right.
So questions and feedback. I'll put it on my iPad in gallery, see what I can see.
Yeah, so we didn't get anyone in the session today, but we did get about 3 people watching live on Facebook. No comments or anything, but we don't normally get very many, so it's okay. And you're welcome to tell your regulars that we'll start showing their video again in the Zoom session. So if that's something that they prefer, then that's totally doable.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that'd be really great, actually. I think that'll make it more inviting for them for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a way for them to connect with each other. It's nice to have the visual.
Yeah. No, I always like seeing everyone hang out and you know everyone's name, and it's very warm and welcoming.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm always, Taylor, if there's anything that you'd like to see, any feedback, I'm totally open.
Yeah.
It's still very much a learning curve for me. And yeah, so.
Oh, I thought that was great. I think you did a great job.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, on that happy note, I'm going to go off and sell some ice cream.
Perfect.
Ice cream shop down at the pier in Seashell if you're over to the Sunshine Coast.
Awesome.
Called Evie's Ice Cream.
Cute. Love it.
Yeah, named after a rabbit.
Perfect.
So have an on weekend, and I'll see you next week.
Yep. See you next week. Thanks, Bobbie.
Righto. Bye now.